Well, Andrew joins us now live from a polling station in Tony Abbott's constituency in Sydney. Andrew, we should be knowing the results relatively soon, in a few hours, as you said there in your report. Tony Abbott looking pretty confident.
That's right. Well, the polls opened just over 2 hours ago, so still a few hours of voting left to go. I'm here at a classic Australian polling station. The beach is just a stone's throw behind my right shoulder. This is actually a club for lifesavers, and this is where Tony Abbott voted himself about 2 hours ago as polls opened. A big crowd of people watching him going into the Surf Lifesaving Club behind me to vote. He queued up like the rest, and this time tomorrow he could well be elected as Australia's Prime Minister. The local paper here, very confident that he will be. They say he's our MP today, but he's likely to be Prime Minister tomorrow. Prime time is the headline there. There's also the Australian, the national paper here, that says he's on track effectively for a landslide. A 40-seat win, they're predicting, which in a parliament of 150 seats is a very big victory indeed. So a strong victory predicted for the right of centre, Tony Abbott and his Liberal Party here in Australia, and the end of Kevin Rudd's reign predicted.
Andrew, let's look at one of the issues that you mentioned there in your report, this issue of asylum seekers. Of course, we saw Rudd come back to take the helm of the Labour Party, and he pushed a very tough new line on asylum seekers. Do you think Tony Abbott will be taking it even further?
Well, that's certainly what he'll do. I mean, it was Tony Abbott, really, that pushed Kevin Rudd to toughen up his party's policies. Under the Labour government, of course, led initially by Kevin Rudd, who was then overthrown by Julia Gillard, who was in turn overthrown again by Kevin Rudd. Under the Labour government, the number of asylum seekers coming to Australia by boat went up and up. It topped 50,000 a couple of months ago. That has proved politically toxic for the governing Labour Party, and although they've toughened up their policy now and they've said that any asylum seekers who come to Australia by boat won't be settled in Australia, they'll be sent instead, even if they're genuine refugees, to be settled in Papua New Guinea, that was only in response to an even more tough policy that came out of the right of centre Liberal Party. So certainly that has been a big issue, although to some extent, by toughening up their policy, Labour neutralised that as an issue. So actually the election campaign has been less about asylum seekers and more about the state of the Australian economy. As I said in my report, the mining boom seems to be coming to an end. There are tougher times ahead for Australia, and Tony Abbott has said that a so-called carbon tax in Australia is going to damage the economy here. He's made that a big part of his campaign. So it was the economy really that dominated more than any other issue.
Andrew Thomas live for us there at a very nicely positioned polling station right next to the beach in Sydney. Thank you.